Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Welcome back to another Bhagavad-gita class with me, your host, Prahlad. And today we are doing Bhagavad-gita 339. Yeah, let's get straight into it. There we go. āvṛtaṁ jñānam etena jñānino nitya-vairiṇā kāma-rūpeṇa kaunteya duṣpūreṇānalena duṣpūreṇānalena. It's a long word. I just realized that yesterday I forgot to do the word for word. Anyway, āvṛtaṁ covered, jñānam pure consciousness, etena by this, jñāninaḥ of the knower, nitya-vairiṇā eternal enemy, kāma-rūpeṇa in the form of lust, kaunteya, O son of Kuntī, duṣpūreṇa never to be satisfied, analena by the fire, also. Translation. Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is said that in the Manu-smṛti, that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just like a fire is never extinguished by a consistent supply of fuel. In this material world, the center of all activities is sex, and thus this material world is called the maithuṇya-āgāra.
Maithuṇa.
Yeah,
maithuna.
unya.
unya. Maithuṇya.
Maithuṇya.
Mai. So mai is mai.
Maithuṇya.
Āgāra.
Maithuṇya-āgāra.
Maithuṇya-āgāra.
Maithuṇya-āgāra. Or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of the material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is the symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Okay, going on and looking at the differences again, just like last class, there are not many changes. So in the original edition, thus a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy has been changed to thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy. See if there's nothing here. This is the original manuscript. Thus, the wise living entity is covered by his something, by his eternal enemy in the form of lust. So to see, it says it there. eternal, eternal enemy. the wise living entity becomes. The wise living entity is covered by his. So yeah, it's sort of going closer. The manuscript does not say pure consciousness, so yeah, it is a change going closer to the original manuscript. Yeah, and that's the only change for this verse. There we go. Talking about the actual verse itself. If we go back to the previous verse that I did yesterday, it says the smoke-covered fire is compared to the human being. And then here it says, which burns like fire. So his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and burns like fire. So yeah, I find it interesting that the two, because the Bhagavad-gita is a conversation, so it does make sense that the previous verse and this verse does have a connection, talking about human beings being comparable to the smoke and the fire. And then, the last purport was talking about that is it's covered by lust. What does it say? Yeah, the living entity is covered by different degrees of this lust. So, there'll be different degrees of lust, and, the human beings being the smoke, comparable to the smoke and the fire, that lust which burns like fire. So, yeah, there's a connection there. It's interesting. The advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of material existence of a living entity. Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of, or almost, I think every country has increased its expected living age. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, on the basis of sense gratification, so you could infer that because that's happened, the driving factor behind that is being sense gratification. Therefore, lust is the symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. So yeah, so talking about lust being sort of like the smoke, you can't really see through it. And it keeps the living entity within the material world. Huh. I don't know. I'm not sure if smoke contains fire, but there's always smoke around fire. Yeah, it's a good analogy. Yeah. I don't know. It does say, but that the last sentence, while one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually, this so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. It doesn't say that explicitly, but well, what I get from that is that there'll be the feeling of happiness, but that isn't true happiness. um, it's like it's a falsehood created by the you know satiation of the lust. So yeah, and that's why it's the ultimate enemy, because it'll trick you into like, yeah, I'm happy, but in actuality, it's not what happiness is. There we go. What else? It says up the very top that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as a fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. So yeah, again with the analogy of fire, yeah, it can't be satiated by doing whatever, um, gaining more money, whatever, to gain that sort of sense enjoyment will just increase. Well, not increase, but it won't feel satisfied. There'll always be more and more and more, and that's why a lot of like people who don't have a lot of money want to get a lot of money, but then the people who have a lot of money don't want to get more money. They have like other stuff. They still feel like sort of unfulfilled. Um, yeah, I think there's a statistic. It's like after you make a certain amount of money, not sure how much it is. Um, after you once you start making more than that amount of money, it doesn't increase your happiness, and I think it's like 150,000 or something. Uh, yeah, you can look that up. But yeah, that's the uh unsatiated, lust. Yes, the unsatiated lust. No amount of sense enjoyment, no amount of fast cars, traveling, will satiate. There's always like, yeah, I wanna do it again, I wanna do more. There's no, yeah, I'm satisfied. Um, and yeah, that feeling of happiness will mask itself, mask the lust. He's like, yeah, I'm happy. Mm. Yeah, it's really all there is. Yeah, going on to the today. Oh, contemporary application. Almost forgot. Um, hmm. Mm, yeah, I guess there's always, there's always a drive for more. There's always a drive, or in life, in general, there's always a drive for more, better, faster, more efficient. Um, like Amazon workers, they I don't know about the validity of it, but it's known that they're like worked really hard. They don't get like breaks. Uh, they're not paid very well. Just to save money. To be more efficient. Uh, yeah, to just get more and more and more. um, yeah, there's always a want for higher and higher. But where does it stop? Um, where is it like, yes, this is efficient enough. We don't need any more. Uh, yeah, that is the effect of the material existence, which is you know we I don't know if it's a um attribute of material existence, or is it a attribute of the people who, or is it an attribute of the living entities who exist in material existence? Well, I don't think it matters either way. But the lust has a unsatiable, uh yeah, it's unsatiable. So there'll always be a want for more. Yeah, that's sort of the contemporary application. um so yeah, basically the answer to this is to, not live a life that is based off of sense gratification. And it says advancements in material civilization on the basis of sense gratification. Advancement, or just living for the purpose of sense gratification, or living for the purpose of sense gratification is not the way. So don't live for the purpose of sense gratification. And then knowing that sense gratification, knowing not to live by sense gratification will be the first step onto the path of being free from the illusion of lust, or the illusion that lust gives, which is the happiness, that sort of stuff. Yeah, there we go. I think it's a good application. Hope I explained that well. Going to the tereo part. So, pineai I hun ahai ana te pure o te tangata I tona hoariri tuturu ai roto ai te ahua o te kaina kore ai te wai nui a ka tahuna pene ai te ahi. Pretty good. So pene, thus in this way, I is passive indicator. Huna hai, covered, concealed. Ana, present, continuous indicator. Te, the. Pure, consciousness, clarity. O, of. Te, the. Tangata, man, person. I, by. Tona, his, its. Haori, hoariri, enemy. Tuturu, eternal. I, in. Roto, inside, within. I, in. Te, the. Ahua, form, shape. O, of. Te, the. Kaina, lust. Kaore, not. I, particle indicating negative condition. What? All the other I's are just like in, as, particle indicating negative condition. Okay. Te, the. Wanui, satisfied, broadened. A, and. Ka, will, future tense marker. Tahuna, burn. Pene, like, similarly. I, as. Te, the. Ahi, fire. There we go. Going back to the verse to finish us off. āvṛtaṁ jñānam etena jñānino nitya-vairiṇā kāma-rūpeṇa kaunteya duṣpūreṇānalena cha. Ooh, damn. I think that was pretty good. Translation. Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Look for the mouse. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys for, watching live, or if you're watching afterwards, thank you. And yeah, I will be back either sometime during the week or next weekend to do some more Bhagavad-gita classes. If you enjoy any of the content that we do, give it a like, share it around. And yeah, good evening, good morning, or good night. It's a good night for me. And yeah, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.